Right, so this is our Westerly 33 in Whitby. Now we've got her in Coates Marine in Whitby. So thanks very much to Ben and the staff for finding space for us. Now they're working on the cutlass bearing here at the back, at the stern. The previous owner thought there might be a leak there, so we did try to do a fix on it, but we still had a couple of buckets of water by the end of the passage the other week. So here we're just trying to figure out what the problem is. And there was a little bit of movement in the cutlass bearing. So I'm just having a chat with Phil, just trying to figure out whether the vibration might have been an issue, and a new cutlass bearing might solve the problem. We've also taken out those bolts, the horrendous problem tightening up the bottom bolt. Actually, all you got to do is remove the blanking plug behind the cutlass bearing, and then that gives you access to that bottom nut and bolt that we found really hard to undo in Bruff, or rather to do up in Bruff. So we're not sure whether it's a leak, the cutlass bearing coming in via the prop shaft, or whether it's an internal leak of fresh water in the piping or the actual tank itself. And here we're just checking the keel to hull attachment. Now the keel bolts look brilliant, and the big backing plates, two nuts on them and no movement whatsoever. So we're pretty happy with that. But we were just double checking it to see if there was any cracking with her settling on the bilge keels in the boatyard. And yeah, that all looked good. You can see the size of that rudder. Now that gives us a very different handling to our previous boat, because we've just found that smaller rudder inputs, you can easily overdo it with that big rudder, and you end up having to overcorrect the other way. So we're just finding out just different boat handling, really. Less rudder input is better. And we're just double checking the whole. All looks good, all fine. Ben and the staff, they've Coates, good on them for getting us in, because you can see it's quite busy. Just give it a bit of a pressure wash, and they're sorting out a couple of issues that we knew we needed to do. So that's why we were up in Coates. So now you can see the masts down, and we're getting the standing rigging replaced, because we think it's at least 20 years old. So that's getting replaced. They're sorting out new gas lines, gas pipes. We're going to get a gas safety inspection, and we're just measuring up just everything, basically checking connections. We're just trying to check. There's a lot of redundant wiring, as you'll see. It's just wires that we're just trying to figure out what they were for. Their GPS receiver there, just trying to figure out, is that actually being used, or is it a redundant one? Because there's a load of wires just poking out. They're all well waterproofed, and they're coming up through glands from the holes, so it's just a case of following them through and figuring out what's getting used and what isn't. And some of these redundant wires, I mean, I might be able to use them for something else. I'm just trying to work out what else is needed. You can see there's a chart plotter attachment just in front of the wheel there, and I was just measuring that up just to see what we could put there. Now the only thing is that stainless steel hoop just in front of the wheel is not actually very well supported, so we're just trying to find some way of strengthening that a little bit, because obviously you rely on that. If there is sort of rough weather, people tend to grab that, and it's not very well attached, so we're just trying to work out what to do with it. There's more discussing with Phil, more redundant wiring.
And that looks like some kind of
yeah, some of it's pretty old, but it's just been sitting there. So it'll be useful, because it's a cable run, you know. I might be able to use it for something.
Yeah.
We're just trying to work out winches as well. You can see in some areas there is sort of area, there's a plinth back just level with the helm by the side of the cockpit there. It looked like they might have taken extra winches that aren't there. I was just wondering, do we need them? And also the layout of the jib halyard went to the bow rather than down through the mast, so we're redoing that.
Yeah, I got the jib
It needed a
halyards.
new swivel at the top of the
Try and
jib standing rigging,
again.
and there was no swivel, so that meant that the previous owner had led the jib halyard forward to the mast, otherwise it would have got twisted up. So we're replacing the swivel so that we can lead the jib halyard down the mast and then be able to tension it properly on a winch possibly, and also just to keep it out of the way, you know, because it's a bit exposed having it up by the bow, and it also meant that the jib was sagging off to leeward, so we're just sorting that problem out. Just give you another idea of the layout. That's just ladder coming up over the aft cabin. It all needs cleaning up a little bit. We do need to do the headlining as well, which we'll do at some stage. It's not mad urgent, but for cosmetic reasons, it would be nicer if it was done. But it's probably not top of the priority list. You know, there's more things we need to sort. A good view of Coates Marine Boatyard in Whitby. As I say, they are pretty full, but yeah, they were very good to get us in. Yeah, we're just checking deck layout as well, just to see, trying to work out space for a life raft, what we're going to do with the dinghy, and we're just wondering about a few other little things, maybe possibly a gantry at some stage for a solar panel, and then maybe an access, a sort of an entire cockpit cover, so we're wondering about that, but not urgent.